back to the Legacy Markets Business Show. Today we are joined by representatives from the National Agriculture and Trade Show, an event deeply rooted in celebrating the vibrant spirit of farming and commerce in our nation. We give a warm welcome to Mr. Louis Pook, Communications Director of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, and Mr. Hugo Miranda, Cooperatives Education Officer and Rodeo Coordinator. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so very much for having us on the show today. We're very, very happy.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, and we are happy.
Sure thing. So let's jump right into it. The Belize National Agriculture and Trade Show, it's a long-standing event in Belize, and it plays a pivotal role in showcasing the country's agricultural sector and driving economic growth. How does the agriculture show contribute to Belize's economy, both in terms of revenue streams and job creations, particularly in the agricultural industry?
Okay, the agriculture show, as you have pointed out, is a national event. It's perhaps one of the largest national events in terms of the population that attends the show. We track the population every year, and we're talking about upwards of 35,000 attendees every year that we have it. And this year, we're anticipating that we're probably going to reach something around 40,000 people. Mm-hmm. When you have a show that size, you are talking about hotel rooms that are booked out up to 2 months in advance, for example, around Belmopan and in San Ignacio. You're talking about food which is being sold on the grounds by vendors, and those vendors in turn have sources for the food that they sell on the grounds. That is, they need to get the fruits, the vegetables, the meat, or whatever it is that they're going to be selling on the grounds. The people that sell drinks, especially fruit-based drinks, which I think are something that we look forward to at the National Agriculture and Trade Show. Again, they need to source what they are going to sell from somewhere here in Belize. And guess what? All of those commodities are provided by the farmers. So you have spending that's going on directly within the agriculture sector as farmers sell to these people so that they can make the food, make the drinks that are going to be available at the Agriculture and Trade Show over the course of the 2 days. And then you have trickle-down effect with people coming to the fair, booking hotel rooms, paying for transportation, using services in and around Belmopan and San Ignacio and Santa Elena, and even in the villages leading up to the showgrounds. We're talking about all the villages on the George Price Highway between San Ignacio and Belmopan. People are traveling on the highway, they make stops, they buy this, they buy that within the villages. And also on the stretch between Hattieville and Belmopan. And maybe even on the other highway, because the fair is a national event. You have people from Corozal, from Orinjuak, Belize City, from the south, congregating at Belmopan. So wherever people travel, they stop, they buy food. You know, you have an uptick in terms of the number of people that are traveling on the highway and visiting all of these different highway stores on the road. So in that respect, you have huge income generation for the fair itself. I would guess, and this is just an educated guess, because of that for lack of any statistics that we might have on hand right now. Mm-hmm. But you're talking anywhere of upwards of $1 million. We're not even quantifying right there any sales that take place on the grounds, because you do have sales that take place on the grounds when it comes to produce that farmers sell, when it comes to plants which are being taken that people buy, when it comes to animals that people buy at the fair, because all of those are available for sale at the fair. It's a showcase for farms, for farmers, for people that have something to sell related to agriculture. And so you can go to the agriculture show and buy your plants, buy animals which are available. You know, all of that. So we're not quantifying that necessarily, but that's also a part of the revenue stream. So it's huge, and we're trying to make it even better. That is bigger in terms of the revenue stream, better in terms of the options that you have.
Right. Well, talking about making it bigger and better, you had mentioned that you're expecting some 40,000 people at the show this year, and we would imagine that planning a show like this, it requires some robust management just to kind of ensure its continued success. What are some of the strategies that you implement to, as I said, ensure its long-term success in the future?
Yeah. Well, there's a standing committee that has to be organizing the fair constantly throughout the year. As soon as the agriculture and trade show is over, we have to start planning for the following year. In the last few years, we have involved other stakeholders so that they can plan together with us. We've always had some stakeholders that help with the planning, that help with the organization of the fair. For example, we've always worked with the Belmopan City Council. The showgrounds falls within Belmopan City itself. We've always worked with the police. So we activate our committee to do postmortem to see what went well, what didn't go as well, what can we do the following year to try to see improvements, either in the delivery of service, in the way that people had their experience at the showgrounds. And even beyond that, what were some of the resonating comments? What were some of the different things that people liked, that people didn't like? Safety is always a huge concern. So we work to try to make sure that we start planning toward that from way early. I'm talking about starting from August or so of the year before the show takes place. We collaborate with different agencies to ensure that we have them on board, that they understand what it is that we're trying to do, and we try to get the best that we can in terms of services. Talking about safety, for example, we fortunately have had over the past 2 years 0 incidents happening on the showgrounds. I'm talking about crime right there. And that's in part because, again, we bring the police on board from early. We meet with them. We talk about what it is that they need. We talk about what it is that we can do as a committee to help the show or be organized a little bit better. They have made suggestions about what things we can do to improve. For example, we have cameras installed all around the showgrounds. We have police officers monitoring those cameras all the time. We've told them that we need patrols at regular times throughout the day, and so they've implemented that. They have patrols, the officers patrol all throughout the grounds, and so there's really never a moment when you have a crowd that is able to just act on its own as you would if you were, you knew that you didn't have anybody watching you. So that's an important part of the show, of keeping things going for the family, because we want to promote the show as a safe family event. And so for that particular aspect, for example, we try to make sure that we involve the police. A couple of years ago, and Hugo can probably kick in here, we had one of the bulls break through the fence. So we looked at that situation, and we had to look at things like making the fence secure, ensuring that we have ambulances on hand in case anything were to happen. Fortunately, for that incident, nothing really happened. The bull broke away. It went a little bit throughout the crowd, but it was brought back, and everything was safe and sound. But
as a matter of fact, we have the best trained and experienced cowboys.
Exactly. So who can tell a bit more about
But to add to what you were commenting on there, Mr. Lewis, I think that the three that stand at the highest is like what you mentioned. Security is foremost, family-friendly, oriented atmosphere, second, and then the third one also includes that we have new attractions. And this year, we cannot forget that the NATS committee is raffling 2024 Ford Ranger, right?
Ford Ranger.
So those would be the resonating three strategies for this year, 2024.
Okay. Well, speaking of new strategies, let's touch a bit on innovation. We know that that's quite important in terms of keeping the relevance for any show. How do you encourage new ideas for the National Agriculture and Trade Show?
By collaborating with as many people across the spectrum that are stakeholders or are involved in the fair, or stakeholders that have something to do with the direction that we want to take the fair in. We want the fair to grow. We want the fair to become more than just a Belizean attended event. We want tourists to know that this fair exists, that it's something to look forward to, that there are things happening at the fair that they can enjoy, that they can be entertained by. So, for example, one of the things that we have done recently is link up with the Ministry of Tourism, involve the BTB in planning. So maybe this year, we might not see as many of the fruits of that as we would have wanted to, but in coming years, we are going to place we call it NATS, National Agriculture and Trade Show.
Right.
We're going to place NATS on their calendar so that it becomes something that when you, for example, come to Belize, you visit a hotel, that's one of the national events that you will see. It's something that you can visit. And even though, again, we're saying we just started that collaboration this year, we already have a few people coming to visit that are expressing interest. Another thing that you do, you invite people from our neighbors, the surrounding countries, to participate at your fair. We have invited people from Guatemala and from Mexico, that is people that work in the government, similar government ministries in those countries, to visit the fair, to have a booth at the fair, to be at the fair. And they can then set up displays that indicate to farmers here in Belize what it is that's happening in agriculture in their countries. And these people are very interested because the region shares many similarities. The agriculture in the region shares many similarities. Agriculture is something that's cross-border. People in Guatemala, people in Mexico, people in Belize plant corn, they grow cattle, they grow pigs, they grow chickens. So there's things that we share in common with these countries. And so when you invite personnel from their ministries or even private companies from these countries to come and they show you, their latest innovations, their latest products, our Belizean farmers get a peek at what's happening and they can talk to these people to see, all right, how can I get this? Where is this product available? What does it cost? And so on. So we want to push the barriers there. And again, it's important to make sure that everybody who participates in the fair, in the show, has a seat at the table so that they can bring other ideas. So we are constantly looking to expand who is on the organizing committee, just to make sure we have fresh brains that are thinking. Everybody sees things in a different way. And even though you might not necessarily agree to everything, at the ending of the day, because of the input of so many different people, you end up having a better product. And so those are some of the directions we're heading in with the fair. As a result of the collaboration that I am talking about, for example, this year we're going to have, as Hugo mentioned, new activities. We have a horse race this year that we had not had before. It's going to take place on Saturday afternoon. We have involved the participation of the committees around San Ignacio, particularly, that have to do with horse racing, and they have risen to the challenge. They're eager to participate, and Hugo will tell you we are probably going to have more horses on that day than we probably, well, I won't say that we can handle, but that more than we anticipated. We are going to have that big raffle we're talking about. We reached out to more business houses this year. BEC was kind enough to collaborate with us, and we have a spanking new 2024 Ford Ranger that we're going to raffle. It will be available at the grounds for you to see. Tickets will be available. They're available right now at the district agriculture offices in each district. We have a bartending competition. That's one of the contributions that we managed to get through collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and the BTV. They're organizing that for us. That's going to take place on Saturday morning. And we're also going to have a dog show this year, something that we hadn't had for quite a long time. That's taking place on Saturday and on Sunday. The collaboration I'm talking about also extends to making some of the events like the rodeo even better due to the collaboration we have with, again, some of our neighbors across the border.
Well, that's certainly a lot of things to look forward to. But we thank you for all the information you have given us today, Mr. Pook and Mr. Miranda. But before we go, tell us what distinguishes the Nats from any other events in Belize, and why is it considered a must-see or a must-attend show?
There are so many things which are entirely Belizean that you get a chance to see at the fair. Let's not forget the National Agriculture and Trade Show was originally an occasion where farmers could showcase their plants, could showcase their products, could showcase their animals. That is still at the core of NATS. We also have the Farmers of the Year, which are going to be showcased at the show. That is, they're going to be recognized. There's a sashing that takes place on Friday during the official ceremonies on the 26th. And then on Saturday, they get a chance to be featured on media. They're given their prizes and all of that. And you will not see that kind of thing. Farmers of the Year, you will not see agricultural products at the level or in the variety that you get to see them at the National Agriculture and Trade Show at any other show. Mm-hmm. There are other agriculture shows. I think different districts have, or different villages or different regions have shows, and they tend to be regional, that is within the district or within maybe the north, within the south, and so on. But this is a national show where you have people congregating from all over. That's one of the huge attractions for the show, that you have so many people, you have so many different things that are coming from all over the country. And again, the rodeo is another of the huge attractions at the show that you just can't miss. It's a part of agriculture. Again, I'll invite Hugo to take over and tell us a bit about how wide rodeo is
here, so
different from other rodeos that we have all over the country.
Mr. Miranda, as the rodeo coordinator, perhaps you can tell us what's new and exciting at the show this weekend?
Yes. I wanted to highlight two things. The rodeo has two components. One is the livestock show, and you asked what makes us different. One is that the farmers throughout the country look forward for the National Agriculture and Trade Show because they come for the best genetics that they can find in terms of horses and cattle. For argument's sake, if you go to any auto show, whosoever is out there, they want to look for the best Toyota, the best Ford, the best Kia, the best Wingle, the best whatever. But nobody puts any emphasis on what happens at National Agriculture and Trade Show. Mm-hmm. You can find easily some horses that value $60,000, cattle that value $200,000. Again, those are the things that farmers work during the course of the year to highlight what they are working with, what they have to sell, and how that can contribute to me. The improved parts that we have, they generate more resources, more foreign exchange for Belize. Secondly, when it comes to rodeo, there's an amount of people that are really interested in rodeo. For example, people around Belmopan, San Ignacio, and rodeo has grown over the last year to the extent that you can find rodeo almost all over. For sure, this year we have our main highlight is the dancing horses that we will be promoting, along with an artist that I cannot say her name. Of course, she will come into Belmopan Sunday afternoon at the strip, and she will join us at the arena. Of course, there are barrel races, arena races, pole bending, calf riding, bull riding, which is the main event, of course, and people look forward. The grand prize there is $2,000 for whosoever can ride the bull for more than 8 seconds, or that the bull can jump better than any other bulls. So there's a lot of attraction for the public this weekend coming. So make sure you make it to the arena. Okay. Again, the ministry has invested significant resources in facilitating infrastructure for people to sit down and enjoy a rodeo, enjoy a livestock show. So make it your business. Be on the rodeo arena. Be at the rodeo arena Saturday and Sunday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the rodeo coordinator himself. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for the wealth of information you have shared with us, and thank you for being on our show today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let me just add a plug there to say thank you to all our sponsors, because this show is huge and would never take place without the people that constantly support the ministry year after. We have some of those people with us, and we want to just thank them for all the support they've given us throughout the years. And everybody who will be listening to the show, make sure you make it out to the Belmopan Agriculture and Trade Showgrounds right at the entrance of Belmopan. You can't miss it. That's a national event taking place there.
All right. We can't miss it.
So carry granny, carry grandpa, because there is fun and there are spaces for them also.
Okay, all the grannies, the grandpas. Okay, come on out. And when we come back, we'll be joined by the masterminds behind the upcoming theater play, Scam. Stay tuned.